Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Bigfoot Tales, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a surprise today. I'm actually, at the same time I'm doing this Bigfoot hike for today, I'm introducing a new video series that I'm starting called Maine Bushcrafter. And what we're going to do in that series is take a good look at a pair of duck going down upstream. What we're going to do is take a good look at the skills that you need to have out in the wild, out in the woods. We're going to look at equipment that you should be bringing with you. We have recommendations. Also, there will be some equipment reviews coming up for that. Different types of tools and camera equipment and so forth, and things that you can use for collecting data in the field, as well as various skills like foraging and starting fires and all kinds of interesting things that will come in handy. I've noticed that a lot of people, when they go on their little hikes, they tend to stick to pretty much established trails. However, I don't like to do that. I will if I think it's worthwhile, but for the most part, you're going to find me off the beaten path, trudging through quite often places I really shouldn't be, but I go anyways, because those are the places that you're more likely to have an encounter. I've had one last fall, which was my second one since 2000, or so when I had my first one. I've also had a couple of maybes, but they really weren't very clear as to, inconsequential, I guess you could say, as to whether or not it was actually Bigfoot or not. But what we're going to do today is I'm going to go through my basic survival kit that I carry with me all the time. Have some tools and little gadgets in there that will help you out in case you become lost or injured on the trail and need some help getting by the night, or a couple of 3 days even, or longer if need be, until you can either be bound or make your way back to civilization. But let's go for a little bit of a hike, and then we'll take a break, and I'll show you my survival kit. As you can see, the water is still way too deep for me to be able to get across to where I need to go. That area down in there is where I had a encounter last fall. It's basically, I saw something behind a downed tree that appeared to be looking at me, and I couldn't see it very well, but when I came around, stand of shrubbery, it was pretty thick. I had a clearer view of it, and I guess I realized that I could see it, and it took off pretty fast up over the hill. It was definitely bipedal, but it ran pretty fast, a lot faster than I've seen any guys run, except for maybe track stars maybe, but he looked pretty big, and he was running diagonally up over a hill, down along a trackway, and back to where I started from, and then go down the road a couple miles and trudge back into the woods. So I'm not going to bother doing that tonight. It's getting overcast, pretty heavy. I think we're going to have a thunder shower, so we'll call it quits for as far as the hiking goes. But let's take a look at my survival kit. It's got some neat gadgets in there that you might find that you'll be handy to carry with you. These are called shelf fungus. Actually, pretty handy to have knowledge of. You can actually put a spark on those and use it as tinder to light a fire. You can also break it into pieces. I'm not going to do it now because I really don't need to, and I don't like to you know, destroy anything if I don't have to. But you can break them into pieces, fill up a can, a tuna can or something like that, or a sardine can with the oil, and let it soak for a few minutes with a broken off piece in it, and you can light that and use it as a emergency lamp wick. Okay, one thing that I always carry with me is this poncho. It's military style. It's not as big as I like to have it. It doesn't actually cover everything as much as I'd like to, but it's good for emergency use. But the biggest benefit of these is that they have snaps on it, and you can actually snap two parts of these together to make one larger poncho. Just a simple snap. These are pretty heavy duty. Another advantage of this type of tarp is that it also has rings in it. You can actually put some rope through that, make a shelter. And one more advantage, and I'll show you, it's pretty windy out. And snap the other half here. Actually has, right over here, internally, some tie-offs that you can use to use these for a ridge line so that you can make a tarp tent. It doesn't make a very good tent for the winter time, but it does do a pretty good job at you know, giving you a shelter where you can stay in overnight in emergency with no problem. Keep the fairly dry. Nice tight hood with a drawstring to it. That comes in handy in those pretty bad rainstorms like I think I might be going through in a few minutes here. Okay, this is the pack that I carry. It's got a couple of straps on here. You can use it on the back to buckle on your belt. I'm not entirely fond of these snaps. They're not quite as good a quality as I like to see. It's a good little pack though. It's a field line series. You can pick them up at Walmart for under 20 bucks during hunting season. But I got everything divided out into different pockets. And this front one has a little zipper pocket here. Carry a folding saw, or a coil saw. It's actually called a cable saw. You can use it for cutting wood. It's got a very rough surface on it. It's not the best kind of saw that you could use. But again, all of these products are for use in an emergency. They're not really intended to be everyday use. But you can take this table, take a piece of wood, and cut it so that it fits into these ends here to use as a handle, and you can saw up some firewood for the night, provided you don't have another way of cutting it out, which I usually do when I'm going out overnight. But we'll get into that pack in another episode, one that's specifically directed to the Maine Bushcrafter. I also have some old guitar strings. A lot of people want to know what the heck I'm doing with guitar strings in my emergency pack. And no, it's not to make music. It's actually, you can use them for tying stuff together, make a sturdy structure. You can also use them as snares. other thing I have in here is some medical tape that I can use for holding wounds closed. And inside that I have a 1.5 inch suture needle, which can be used for mending things or for pretty much any emergency repairs you can think of. Starting to rain pretty good. I'm going to put that poncho on. Well, that pretty much kills my original idea of laying everything out nice and neat. I'll show you a picture of it later. I'll get one at home. Second interior portion has divided pockets. Carries quite a bit of equipment in there, as you can see. Got a Velcro close. Got a draw tight strap with a good snap buckle on it that you can pull tight. Also has a bungee around it. Now, one of the things that I like to do is if I'm hiking and I have this, especially on a highway, I use these little bicycle lights, which are pretty bright. Has a slow flash, quick flash, and no flash. But that will loop right into here like that, and I can walk down the street with that, and it will be flashing as a warning to any oncoming motorist. It's a good safety thing to bear in mind. Back portion also pretty divided. There's a lot of stuff in there. You'll find that I come prepared for just about anything. Okay, first one. You have several areas of preparedness that you need to be prepared for when you're out in any situation, really. And I use what I call the Sawako pyramid for my use in my planning for emergencies and survival situations. And what that is, it's actually kind of an acronym for to shorten up 3 terms: safety, water, and food. Everything that you do revolves around those 3 things, and you can establish kind of a pyramid type of survival plan by going with that. But in with the Sawako, you have safety, water, food. Those 3 items need to be taken care of no matter what. First of all is safety. A lot of people will say water, but then you have to remember that if your water is not safe, then you're in just as much tough luck as if you didn't have any water, or worse actually. You can go for a couple of days without water. I wouldn't recommend going more than that at all, and under any circumstances, unless there's no other choice. A lot of physical health problems can crop up by lack of water, so you need to have water. Long term, you also need to have food. So one of the things that you want to have as primary is a means to collect food and water. Now, in here, a couple of things I carry always are some empty quart. I also have in my bigger pack, if I'm going to be gone for 3 or 4 days, I also have some gallon size and 2.5 gallon size as well. Those can be used for gathering water. Can also be used for gathering food. Also in this particular pouch I have some other things, and instead of just going through the different standards there, I'm just going to show you what I have. One is this little sewing kit. The needles are wrapped up inside on a piece of cardboard. You can get these for a couple of bucks at just about any department store, drugstore, something like that. They're pretty cheap, easy to carry, they're light, they don't add much weight. Also, I have several light sticks that will give you light. they can give you light for 8 hours or more, depending upon the you know, the brand and the size, the type of thing that you have. Different colors give you different lengths of time based upon the chemical reaction that's created when those two vials that are inside are broken. I also have here about 30 feet of 550 cord, or what some people call paracord, and it's wrapped with some jute twine. Now the jute twine can be used for light wrappings. You can also, if you need to, unbraid it, use the individual strands for fishing line, but you can also chop it into little pieces and use it as tinder when you're starting a fire. Doesn't weigh much. It's worth having in your kit. Second pouch in here, I have a whistle. In case you get lost, you need to be able to signal people. This is what you call a slim howler whistle. Very loud, draws a lot of attention, so I'm not going to use it here because I'm not that far from the roadway and I don't want somebody hearing it and thinking somebody's having a problem. And also in here I have a small knife. This is a pretty good quality. There's a lot of cheap ones you can get, but I get a better quality one. This is a buck 4709, I believe is the number on it. It's a little lockback, not very heavy, pretty light. It's got a plastic Delrin handle. Has a lanyard cord on it, in case you want to put a lanyard on it so that you can wrap it around your wrist while you're doing stuff. It's great for making small shelters, slicing off tinder off of pieces of wood, cutting open fish and things like that. You also need fire when you're out there. So I have this fire steel ferro rod with an attached striker. This is marketed by Coverlet, this particular piece of equipment. Very worthy to have in your kit. Something you should have. I also have, because in my old age I'm getting lazy, a package of strike anywhere matches. As long as they don't get wet, you're good to go. That's why I wanted to do everything laying out on the tarp, so I didn't spill it all out. And I also have a little butane lighter. Easy for starting fires. And another treat I have in that small button compass, not very big, but it'll show you which direction you're going in. Not very accurate. It's not very laid out for real, you know, precise navigation, but it's good and handy just to have. If anything, makes you feel better. Might just as well have it. That's my outer pouches. Also attached, I have, I'm going to do it here, one of these Coverlet survival tools. It has a compass on one side, has a whistle you can blow. It's not as loud as a howler, but it'll work in a pinch. The other side has a thermometer, so you can tell whether or not you're going to freeze to death. And one of the things that I like about it, especially, is also has a little magnifying glass that you can use for starting a fire. It also comes in handy for looking at yourself in the camera. Hope you're enjoying that. But you can use it as a magnifying glass to start a fire through solar means, as well as looking at those little lines on the map that get hard to see as you get older. This also has a little clip on it, which clips right to my case, just like that, so it's always there. Also, in this front one, of course, if you have food, you're going to need to prepare it. I have several feet of tin foil all wrapped up. You can use it for assembling cups, bowls, whatever, for boiling water. As long as you're careful with it, you can do a lot of different things with it. Folds down flat, doesn't weigh much. Fits right in the front pocket here. And I also have about 10 to 15 feet of duct tape folded down flat on a cardboard. Again, doesn't weigh much, can do a lot with it. What I like to do if I'm doing some emergency shelters type work with it is I'll split it into thin strips like that, and you can pull it off and use it. It lasts a lot longer that way. Back pockets here. Get into some of the good stuff. Right on the top I have a headlamp. It puts out a pretty good light. It's got a LED on it. Runs off of one of those little watch batteries. Nice bright colored. I picked the bright color simply because it's a lot easier to see in low light. Also in here I have a first aid pack. I actually carry 2 first aid packs. I'm just going to go over this one now. We'll go into it in more depth in another video, but it has pretty much everything you need for on-the-field repairs. Also, don't know how good you can see in here, I also have several safety pins snapped right in there. You can use for making a lot of repairs. You can also make some makeshift fish hooks with it if you need to. Also carry a bottle of iodine. Iodine can be used for taking care of any cuts that you have or abrasions, to sanitize them, keep you safe from infection. You can also use it for purifying water, and again we're going to get into exactly how to do that. And if you do get some iodine, try to get a plastic bottle if you can for it. Also in here I have one of those super duper scissor sets. Supposedly able to cut through a dime with it. I haven't been able to actually accomplish that wonderful feat, but it's good for cutting line, cutting bandages or tape or string or whatever. And of course, since we have to deal with the ticks, I also have a nice pair of tweezers, which is, you can also use that magnifying glass for that. Also in here, I have a space blanket. This is one of the bigger ones. It's enough to wrap me up, or I can use it to make a shelter bag to reflect the heat back onto me. The final thing that I have in my big pouch, and excuse me, I'm going to bend down while I put this big pouch down here, and then we'll get into my York peppermint patty fishing kit. This is a handy tin to have. I haven't seen these on the market for a long time, but in here I have a complete fishing kit that you can use for fishing anywhere you are. But it also has some other advantages. It's a nice nice shiny tin. You can use it for storing other things that you need to. It also is reflective, so you can use it to use it as a signaling mirror. The lid actually is concave, and it will actually concentrate. There's no sun now, so I can't really demonstrate that. But again, if you can find one of these, worth the money. The reason for that is this spool has 110 yards of 2-pound line on it. It's pretty light line. You can use it for fishing in survival situations, you know, getting small trout, brook trout. But in there I have a few leaders with the hooks already attached. I have a spinner, which is good for attracting the fish. Several hooks of assorted different sizes. Have some plastic worms that you can put on the hook. It's better if you can use live bait, but you can't always get away with that. Either you can't find any, or you might be in a place where you don't really want to use that. So you have this artificial lures. I also have this popper, which has a nice hook on it. It's a good bait. I've actually caught some smallmouth bass with it, so when I'm out regular fishing, just to try them out. And we have several sinkers of various sizes that you can attach by using your multi-tool, which I don't have with me because I didn't take it with me since we're not really going deep into the woods today. But again, this all fits in here, and one thing you want to do is make sure you leave the label on. Reason for that is because the stuff that's in there will adhere to the label, and it won't be so prone to popping all over the place when you open it up. And that also fits in your pocket. So that's my basic survival kit that I take with me whenever I'm out in the field, just in case I get lost or injured and I can't make it back to my my home spot for the day, or I'm out stuck in the muck, you know, maybe my car breaks down or something and I'm ended up having to spend some time there. However, if I'm in my car, I actually have better kits that has more stuff in it, so I'm actually a little bit better to survive. I actually carry enough stuff with me when I'm like that. Or if I wanted to, I could actually survive for a long time out in the woods. But that's my survival kit. And again, just straps to the back of your belt. A couple of loots. Again, I'm not real happy with the strap buttons on here, snaps, but they do the job. There you go. Survival for any length of time, provided you have the knowledge to use these things and how to go about getting the things that you need to survive long term. And that's it. Thanks for watching, and hope you enjoyed this special episode of Bigfoot Tales / Maine Lone Ranger. Is a new series called the Maine Bushcrafter, and I hope to see you on both of those channels again. And if you like the videos, make sure that you subscribe and comment on the Google chat room there, or comment room is at the bottom of the videos. I'd like to hear your thoughts on that, and if you'd like to see anything special as far as the bushcrafting series go, we're going to be looking at a lot of different things, such as you know, foraging for food, water treatment, filtering water, how to set up emergency camps, and all kinds of different things. So, hope you enjoyed, and for the next few minutes there on the video here, we'll see what we can come up with for good shots of nature. And until next time, thanks for watching, and happy squatching.